Shalom. We're live on YouTube again. Hallelujah. Welcome to the Ark of the Covenant Assembly. Hallelujah. So I start out with a little music. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for this. Whoops. Worship you like never before. I'm not afraid to let you in, no, because I know that hello. How are you? Okay. Okay, cool. Enjoy it. Yes. Oh, nice.
There's the geranium.
Yes.
And what else do I have over here? I don't know. Can you see the hibiscus?
Yes. You be in there,
And the mandorilla.
be a little garden there, though. I see. Looks good.
It's my mom, you know.
Yes.
She helps me. I like the music.
Thank you. Well, put me in the class.
So we don't have a reader.
Okay.
Because he's passed out. I sent him to some food.
Okay.
And since his cousin has been here,
Yes.
they don't sleep. They're teenage boys.
Okay. That's fine.
So he is out cold. I was trying to get this up on my tablet here, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it wants to cooperate. I didn't want to kill my cell phone. So I may try again.
Okay. We'll be right here. So, welcome to the Ark, everyone. We're going to get started, and sorry about the delay. Today, I have I woke up with a couple of thought patterns that have crossed my mind, and I thought, you know what? Let's help people just have a refresher course. So that's what we're doing today. Just a refresher course on maybe just a couple of chapters out of Deuteronomy to help us with a situation that I see that needs to be addressed. And I'll go on with that in a minute. Tehillim 29, 30. We can do better than that. Shalom. Welcome to the Ark in New Jersey. I am so excited about today's journey, our message. The adventures of a Hebrew. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let's go before the throne. Abba Father, we do approach you with sincerity of heart, hoping and praying, Yah, that you would hear our voice. We pray, Yah, that your Ruach would come, resonate with us, give us guidance, understanding, and we ask for repentance of things done in our flesh that are not worthy, designed by you for us to do. Help us to walk in a way that's accord with you, so that we shall be one in that our spirits would align with your spirit, and that we will walk in a matter that's worthy of acceptance by you, Yah. We ask that you would show us, teach us, and speak to and through us, so that we all will come to a closer knowledge of who you are as we walk in Torah. In Yahweh's name we pray. Hallelujah. Telehim 30. Let's read.
Telehim 30. I will extol you, O Yahuwah, for you have lifted me up and have not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Yahuwah Elohai, I cried unto you, and you have healed me. O Yahuwah, you have brought up my soul from Sheol. You have kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. Sing unto Yahuwah, O Kaisai, of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. For his anger endures but a moment. In his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And in my prosperity I said, I shall never be moved. Yahuwah, by your favor you have made me my mountain to stand strong. You did hide your face, and I was troubled. I cried to you, O Yahuwah, and unto Yahuwah I made supplication. What profit is there in my blood when I go down to the pit? Shall the dust praise you? Shall it declare your truth? O Yahuwah, and have mercy upon me. Hear, O Yahuwah, and have mercy upon me. Yahuwah, my helper, you have turned for me my mourning into dancing. You have put off my sackcloth and girded me with gladness, to the end that my glory may sing praise to you and not be silent. O Yahuwah Elohai, I will give thanks unto you forever.
Okay, so listening to this psalm from our king, there are times when, and I just let him read it through without any interference. But there are times when you feel like you are going through hell, like the worst case scenario has just unfolded before your eyes. Some of us have lived it, where our life just seems so horrendous. But at the end, and even doing that, you sometimes like, yeah, are you there? I'm calling on you, and I hear no answer. And the prayers that I'm putting forth don't seem to be answered. It doesn't seem to be an answer. I literally am living hell right now, living in hell, and then Yah answers you and fulfills you with something that the world can't give you. His joy. He will take you out of hell and restore you. So, yes, you may be going through something, but you need to be steadfast, unmovable, with a faith that does not waver, and let Yah be Yah, because he will restore you. And in time, as time goes on, you will see the restoration. And he will turn you from mourning unto dancing, from sackcloth into gladness. Mourning will, sadness will come, but in mourning, joy comes. Weeping may endure for a night, and your night may be a little longer than someone else's night. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. That's taken. That takes me back, because when you read this scripture, you should be like thinking back in your life of times when there was pain, suffering, the loss of someone, the agony that you had to go through, and now actually feeling joyful, because we know that all things work together for the good of Yah, for the good. All things work together for the good for those who are called according to his purposes. According to his purposes. So his plans are not always our plans, but he works it out. Won't he do it? You hear people say, won't he do it? Yes, he will. He will restore you. So today, I want to take a minute, just a few minutes. I'm not planning on spending a long time. Not planning on, it's a beautiful day outside, but this is Shabbat. So the Shabbat, we're going to take a moment. And what we want to do is look at Deuteronomy, Devarim, chapter 13. And the reason why I want to go here is because it's not because this week I had to go to a vegetarian restaurant and eat vegetables and no meat, which I did, and I really did, and I really did enjoy it. But some people have taken the text and said, I'm not doing this or I'm not doing that. And you know what? It's good if you decide to go back to an Adam and Eve dietary man. And I don't eat meat. I just eat veg. Okay, cool. But don't let that condemn the ones that love a good steak, because Yah gave us a guideline. And this is the guideline that we keep Torah. So this is the guideline according to our understanding. Now we may get to a point where we're like, you know what? We don't want to eat meat anymore. And sometimes I feel really close to that because of some of the other circumstances that happen in our life. And sometimes meat may be one of those things that we might turn away from. But that's because of something that you may want to do, but it's not, as of right now, I don't see it as a rule to go by. So let's look at his rules, because it's all about keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. And the key word was his, not somebody, because they came up with their own law. That's the problem that we've always had. We've always taken his laws and then multiplied them and created a new law. And this is we're going to start out with, but what did the prophet said? So let's read 13, Devarim 13:1.
13. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spoke unto you, saying, let us go after other Elohim, which you have not known, and let us serve them.
Okay, so here's a situation or a problem. Because a lot of us go looking after signs. We love to see somebody do something, a magic trick. We love to see somebody do something that's like, whoa, that was interesting. Or he may even give you a word and it comes to pass. And you're like, well, that was really good. All right. Then he says, let's not serve the same Elohim you serve. Let's go serve some other Elohim. And you're going to hear this a lot, a whole lot, when you start talking about dietary laws, because they're going to start telling you, yeah, but let's look at this religion or let's look at these. And he's like, oh, hold up. He may have done something and that may have happened, but let's go back to the first commandment. Let's not go worshiping other gods. Now let's just listen to the scenario as it unfolds. If a prophet comes amongst you and he gives you a dream or a word, and it comes to pass, and you're like, wow, because of the wonder, verse 2.
Verse 3.
Verse 3.
You shall not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for Yahuwah Elohim proves you to know whether you love Yahuwah Elohim with all your heart or with all your soul. I'm sorry, but so Elohim is saying, okay, I'm going to prove you. I'm going to let you absorb something, watch it, and then let's see what happens. And let him test you a little bit. Okay, let him let it work through your system and see if you will turn at the quickest drop of the dime because somebody tells you something and you start believing. Verse 4. Ye shall walk after Yahuwah Elohim and fear him and guard his commandments and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him and cleave unto him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from Yahuwah Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust you out of the way which Yahuwah Elohim commanded you to walk in. So shall you put the evil away from the midst of you.
So now, the prophet must be put to death. We live in captivity. We're not allowed to go around killing people. But you can put them to death in your thoughts. That doesn't jive here. We don't. It's interesting because my wife says, why are you listening to them? You always listen to such and such. Well, there's going to be certain people or certain things that as soon as they start, you should be like, nope, not listening to that. Not entertaining that. Not allowing that to fester in my system because y'all said put them to death. Okay, put them to death. Just like we mentioned being in hell, you're not in what they considered hell, like a lake of fire, right? Putting them to death. You have to use that metaphorically and just do away with that. Because the more that you absorb that's not right, he will eventually lead you away. 6.
If your brother, the son of your mother, or your son, or your daughter, or the woman of your bosom, or your friend, which is as your own soul, entice you secretly, saying, let us go and serve other Elohim, which you have not known, you nor your fathers, namely, of the Elohim of the people which you are around, nigh unto you, or far off from you, from the one end of the earth, even unto the other end of the earth. You shall not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall your eye pity him, neither shall you spare, neither shall you conceal him, but you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be the first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people.
Okay, so what is this? Namely, verse 7 at the beginning, the Elohim of the people that are around you. I got an audience here. What does that mean to you guys? Let you digest it and
Well, being here in this country, it's the people that make up your community. It could be a variety of people.
Okay. You look gorgeous with your necklace on.
No, thank you.
So these people around you, they have Elohims. They have gods. And he's like, don't pay attention to these people's gods. Like, don't let that affect you. We're influenced by, what does it say? Your bosom friend. We're influenced by your daughter. You're influenced by your son. You're sometimes influenced by your mother. And you're influenced by these people that have other gods around you. This is very important because when we start talking about dietary law, you're going to have other people influencing you to actually eat something or to do something that contradicts Yah. We don't not eat pig because it doesn't make our blood pressure high or because it does this or does that. We don't eat it because Dad said not to. Break it down like that. Daddy said don't touch that. So we're like, nope, sorry, we don't do it. And sometimes there's someone's going, well, all right, let's say wine. We sometimes check out a wine and see what it's filtered through because a lot of your wine's filtered through pig hair, which is kind of weird. And so you got to go through stuff, and someone else can kind of say, well, yeah, it doesn't really matter. And then you're going to see people leading you, thinking all kinds of ways to lead you astray. All right. Verse 7, 8, 10.
And you shall stone him with stones that he die, because he has sought to thrust you away from Yahuwah Eloheka, which brought you out of the land of Mizraim, from the house of bondage.
Now, you know why does everybody know why Yah keeps bringing back that subject, that he brought you out of bondage? Because that was when he did the most miraculous work to release us from captivity. That's when he challenged the gods against him. The gods, because they had 10 gods that they were worshiping, and he challenged each one, and each one was represented by the plagues. And so the plagues came, and he showed each one who was the true Elohim, who really had the power. And then all of the people around started fearing him. The whole world feared the God of Israel. The whole world feared God of Israel because they realized that God is supreme. And so when they started writing books and they came across our God, they're like, let's make sure that when we say God, we talking about their God. And then that's how we have all these different religions out serving what they would say is our Elohim. But I'm here to tell you, they are not our Elohim. And that's where you have to be careful, because they're reading the same book we're reading. Who wrote the book and has translated certain things into their likeness? Okay. When I say translated their things into their likeness, when you read through their books and you open up the Bibles and you see white people in a land full of Ethiopian people, they're translating it into their likeness. And that's not just the color that they're changing, but they're also changing certain things in the text. They've gotten to the point that they've changed so much that you're scratching your head trying to figure out whether this was Yah or whether it was man. That's a story for another time. Where are we at? 13, 11?
And all Yisra'el shall fear shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you.
So this does nothing to do with diet. You're going to say, well, I thought he was going to talk about diet. We're getting there. But pay attention because it leads right into it.
12. If you shall hear, say, in one of your cities, which Yahuwah Eloheka has given you to dwell there, saying, certain men of the children of Belial are going out from among you, and have withdrawn the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other Elohim, which ye have not known. Then shall you inquire and make search and ask diligently, and behold, if it be truth and the thing certain that such abomination is wrought among you, you shall surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword. And you shall gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the street thereof, and shall burn with fire the city, and all the spoil thereof every whit, for Yahuwah Eloheka, and it shall be a heap forever, and it shall not be built again. And there shall cleave naught of the cursed thing to your hand, that Yahuwah may turn from the fierceness of his anger and show you mercy, and have compassion upon you, and multiply you, as he has sworn unto your fathers. When you shall hearken to the voice of Yahuwah Eloheka to guard all his commandments, which I commanded you to this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of Yahuwah Eloheka. Chapter 14.
I came in. I felt. Hold on. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Chapter 14. Ye are the children of Yahuwah Eloheka. Ye shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. For you are a holy people unto Yahuwah Eloheka, and Yahuwah has chosen you to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. You shall not eat any abominable thing. These are the beasts which you shall eat.
So he goes right into loving Yah, keeping his commandments, gives you a whole layout of what not to do about these people trying to lead you astray, right? And then he starts looking at your outward appearance. He's like, you okay, cutting yourself or doing or making yourself bald, all that is for the dead. Because some people say, oh, you can't wear tattoos. And that's not exactly what he's saying here. He's saying when you're doing that for the dead. And, some people and will do that to identify a lost one. So he's like, that's not something that we usually do as a custom. All right. So then he starts talking about what you eat. You've heard people say you are what you eat. And if you look around, you'll see a whole lot of people looking like this. With the nose turned up. Look awfully piggish. All right, let's go. Verse 4.
These are the beasts which ye shall eat, the ox, the sheep, and the goat.
Okay, so Yah turns, this is before the Babylonian captivity. This is before anything you can say, well, they went here and other people were doing it. And so this is in Devarim. He says, you can eat meat. So he says, now these are the things you can eat. And then he starts naming beasts. So y'all's not saying, not even by any stretch of imagination, he's saying, I want you all guys to be vegetarian. He's saying, you can eat this and this and that. And listen to the things you can eat. This is only for Israel. Disclaimer. This is only for Israel. And you're going to see this in the text. What we eat, what we do, is what we do. And we don't put that on other people. There's other people that you want your pork chop sandwich, go at it. This is for us. This is our law. And when you rethink yourself and remember who you are, you should start following his law, statutes, and commandments. And one is you change your appetite. The problem with a lot of us is don't tell us that I'm a Hebrew. Don't tell us that we Israel, because we know that if we do start this Pandora's box, when we open it up, we're going to be like, there are a whole lot of things we're going to have to throw out. All right, let's go. Verse 5.
The deer and the roebuck, the fallow deer and the wild goat, and the pygarg, and the wild ox, and the chamois.
All these deers running around out here. We see the deer and say, oh, he's so cute. And we won't go kill him. But look, in the United States where we live, there's so many deer running rapid around here that they open the season up and allow you to go out and get yourself a gun and shoot them. And there's no cost. You pay for the gun and you can go hunting and you can collect as many deer as you want. Well, not as many as deer. I think there may be a limit. But you can go collect your deer and you can have free meat. You don't have to worry about the government giving you, you know what they're doing with chicken? They're actually now making a meat inside a incubator, never walked, crawled, cried, chirped, tweeted, looked at anything, and it grows, and they will now cut it up and put it on a wrapper and call it chicken. So you don't know what you eating, but you got free deer running around, and y'all's like, verse 5, the deer, the ox, the sheep, and the goat. And you don't go after that because something has happened in your brain and you think we can't eat that, but we can eat. Oinky, oinky. All right, verse 6.
And every beast that parts the hoof and cleaves the cleft into 2 claws, and chew the cud among the beasts, that ye shall eat. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel and the hare and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore they are unclean unto you. And the swine, because it divides the hoof, yet chews not the cud, it is unclean unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass.
Okay, don't touch the dead carcass. And the key word in the last 2 verses, unto you. Unto you. Unto you. It's unclean unto you. It's unclean unto you. It's unclean because these, listen, it's going to come, clarity to that statement is coming as we continue to listening. All right, let's go.
9.
Verse 9.
These ye shall eat of all that are in the waters, all that have fins and scales shall you eat. And whatsoever has not fins and scales, you may not eat it. It is unclean unto you. For of all ye shall eat, but these are they that which ye shall not eat: the eagle, the osprey, and the osprey, and the glede, and the kite, and the vulture after its kind, and every raven after its kind, and the owl, and the night hawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after its kind, the little owl, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gier eagle, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat, and every creepy thing that flies is unclean unto you. They shall not be eaten, but of all clean fowls ye may eat. Ye shall not eat of anything that dies of itself. You shall give it unto the stranger that is in your gates, that he may eat it.
So that's why I said it's not to. This isn't for everybody else. This is for us. And guess what? He's like, yeah, something else dies. So give it to your neighbor. They'd be like, man, I love that Hebrew. That Hebrew be giving me free food. You clear out your house, all this that's in the freezer, and say, "Oh, I'm Hebrew. I don't eat this." Don't throw that at your neighbor. They will freely, gladly take it. All right. Verse 21 again.
Ye shall not eat of anything that dies of itself. Ye shall give it unto the stranger that is in your gates, that he may eat it, or you may sell it unto an alien. For you are a holy people unto Yahuwah Eloheka. You shall not seethe a kid in its mother's milk.
So you're telling me that I can sell this stuff? I'm only telling you what the word says. Yes, just get rid of it and make a profit off of it. Guess what? We're going to talk about drinking too as we go on. I got a few more minutes. I want to get into that because I'm going to have a strong drink today. And I'm going to show you where it's accepted.
Here's an important verse. You shall truly tithe all the increase of your seed that the field brings you forth year by year. And you shall eat before Yahuwah Eloheka in the place which he shall choose to place his name there.
So my son says, this is an important verse here. You should tithe. So that means a certain portion of that should be given to Yah. Every year, the larger your increase, and you're going to say, well, that's only talking about produce. I went to a building and they talk about money. All right, let's listen. Listen, Linda.
And you shall eat before 23. And you shall eat before Yahuwah Eloheka in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of your grain, of your wine, of your oil, and the firstlings of your herds and of your flocks, that you may learn to fear Yahuwah Eloheka always.
Now, some of you know, you've already heard this before, so you're listening and you're like, a place that when he says a place which he shall choose, and then you're thinking, I know you're thinking, you're like, I heard that before. Yeah, during the feast days, and it says the elders will choose a place. And he says, for you, actually pay attention to your elders or your pastor, your mores, and as they choose a place, that is the place. Especially in captivity, where we're not running to Israel. So he's not saying when you come to Israel, it's like wherever y'all chooses the place. And those times, what we're talking about his feast days. Because that's when he's telling you to bring your tithes to your feast days. We only have a handful of them, 7. We only have a handful of feast days, and only 3 of them where we actually told to bring our tithes, to bring our offering. So here's one right here. This ties in alignment with those who keep Torah, those who keep the feast days, those who keep his commandments. And it's only speaking to Israel and the friends that want to love up on Israel. Come on.
24. And if the way be too long for you, so that you are not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from you, which Yahuwah Eloheka shall choose to set his name there, when Yahuwah Eloheka has blessed you.
Listen. All right, everybody do this. Clear it, clean out your ears, and pay attention. 25.
Then shall you turn it into money, and bind up the money in your hand, and shall go into the place which Yahuwah Eloheka shall choose. And you shall bestow that money for whatsoever your soul lusts after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or whatsoever your soul desires. And you shall eat there before Yahuwah Eloheka, and you shall rejoice, you and your household.
All right. I'm telling you what to eat. I'm telling you what not to eat. And then I'm going to tell you, okay, so if you can't make it to this journey because it's too far, you've tried your best, you figured it out, you just can't make it. I want you to sell everything that you have, all your produce, all of your tide. Turn it into money. Now you got money. Then I want you to go to the liquor store. I want you to get yourself some wine. I want you to get some strong drink. And then I want you to come before me and celebrate with your household. I'm sorry. And food. I stand corrected. And get your food. You have a banquet. And celebrate with me. Where did we get this Puritan attitude that we can eat anything, but we can't drink anything? Or we can drink, maybe we can drink a little bit of wine, but don't drink any strong drink because that's taboo. Or some of them would even say, don't even drink wine, just drink grape juice. When it says right here in the text, to take your money and whatever, and do whatever your soul desires. Enjoy. Read 25, and then we'll just go from there.
25. Then shall you turn it into money, and bind up the money in your hand, and you shall go into the place which Yisra'el shall choose, and you shall bestow that money for whatsoever your soul lust after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever your soul desires, and you shall eat there before Yisra'el, and you shall rejoice.
I gotta do a timeout. You and your household. So doesn't it say whatever your soul lusts for? But haven't we been told anything that you lust after is wrong?
Well, actually, the word says that the command says that you should not lust after your brothers,
Your neighbors.
your neighbors.
Not food.
Well, it's specific about what you're not supposed to lust after. It didn't say that
Just-
lust was wrong.
Oh, thank you.
That's
Just
a Catholic injection of like the 7 deadly sins,
Yes,
and they put that into our minds that lust was wrong.
right.
Like the whole
concept of lust.
Well, it's just lust is just wanting something.
Yeah.
Right. A strong desire for
you never
something.
want to want anything your whole life.
Right.
Well, that's what they try to do with the priest.
Yeah.
Yes. They see how well that worked out. They told the priest they can't have a girl, and they go after little boys.
You know
It's like,
that's the same thing. They do that. We look at the Catholics because they're the most famous, I guess.
yeah,
But the monks, the Shaolin
same
monks,
thing.
they're
Yes,
just as,
they do the same
they're
thing.
just as
Same, just as wicked.
Yeah.
So y'all showing us like there's got to be something that you desire that you were like, I've been wanting this for a long time and just can't afford it. And
but in this concept,
yes,
than anything else but this, right? It seems that it does say whatsoever your soul lust after, but then they all is all food.
food and yes.
So it's not like you can't go get a car.
Okay. I wanted a car. I was thinking Lamborghini, but here you go, right?
Go get a steakhouse.
But that don't mean that you're lusting after pig.
That's what we do when we celebrate. We go and get whatever we would.
Yeah,
You know, it's our birthday. You go get that meal that you wouldn't typically get.
exactly.
But the word there is a hug. It's just to love whatever you love.
Okay. So I have my Hebrew daughter here. Just check it. She did a checkpoint on it, and she said it's a hav. So the word is translated lust, but it's actually love. So you learn, you have to be, and this is one of those translations where the translation twist always puts a twist in something that ought not be. It says, if it says love, why does it say lust? Because it makes you think and you start twisting your thought pattern. But so whatever you love, I've been wanting to have a steak and where we go in New York, we had a couple of steak places we went to. Peter Peter Luger in Brooklyn. Yeah, anybody want to, like, Elder's birthday is December the 6th, 1957. You ever want to give him something, send him a gift certificate to Elder Peter Luger's. That's a shame, right? I done put up. But there may just be somebody who's like, oh yeah, he likes steak. All right, let's go.
27.
I'm sorry. I wanted to elaborate on that or take a little minute with that because it's so twisted from what we've learned to in coming out of our religious settings. And all we're doing is reading this. We're not changing anything. It's just is something that we have learned to not learn. Okay. 26.
27.
7.
And the Levite that is within your gates, ye shall not forsake him, for he has no part nor inheritance with you. And at the end of the 3 years, you shall bring forth all the tithe of your increase the same year, and lay it up within your gates. And the Levite, because he has no part nor inheritance with you, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within your gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that Yahuwah Elohim may bless you in all the work of your hand which you do.
Now, here's where things get a little interesting. Well, we don't have priests. We don't have the Levitical tribe anymore. So we use that as an excuse not to do any of the law, any of this part of the law. When he says, now, how can we take hell, which we talked about earlier, Sheol, and use that as a metaphor? How can we see other things and look at it as, okay, I can understand this or that, but we can't see this and say, well, Moray's not really, or Elder's not really the Levitical priest, but he's the closest thing that we kind of got. Let's make sure he is taken care of just like we did them. We don't do that. And I'm not even tooting my horn. I'm cool. I'm just saying, like, we just don't want to find someone and give them, even though you're sitting under their teaching, even though you're listening and you're attentive to what he has to say, almost as if he is the Levitical priest. So you're paying attention to him, and he's giving you guidance. But then when it comes time to give him a offering or to present your money to Yah, you're like, well, and you think of any way, and this is my history of seeing this, any way not to. It's the same thing with the dietary law. We can look at the dietary law and find everything that's so close to it and say, well, is this really what he's saying? Because you want that. You're lusting for the wrong thing. And so you're like, instead of going after the deer, you're like, well, they got this thing. It's almost pig, but it's not really pig. Well, okay. The sausage is beef sausage. It's only cased in pig casing. We find all kind of ways of trying to get close to sin, as opposed to just running the straight and narrow. Verse 28, 9. Where are we at?
Chapter 15.
Chapter 15. Chapter 15.
At the end of every 7 years, you shall make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor that lends all unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact of it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called Yahuwah's release. Of a foreigner you may exact it again, but that which is yours with your brother, your hand shall release.
Okay, I didn't really plan on going here, but we're here. What does exact mean? What's that word? Find that word.
You want the, hold on, money back.
Yeah, you're being the
You know, they,
the mafia.
You're, you're being the mafia.
Yeah.
the
They come
senior
to
court. What's it? Senior court. What's it called? Supreme Court.
So-
They shut down the forgiveness.
They
Oh,
shut
yeah,
the loan forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
they're exacting their money from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything that you owe, they want.
Me.
Yeah. Well, I got a little bit in there too. I think all of us, except for you, yours is paid up.
But if they were if they were our brothers, they should just they forgive us. Who's forgiveness?
Let's see
That's
where
all
we.
that means.
All right, we'll read through this anyway. I really didn't do a little studying on this, but let's go.
4, verse 4 of 15. See, when there shall be no poor among you, for Yahuwah shall greatly bless you in the land which Yahuwah Eloheka gives you for an inheritance to possess it. Only if you carefully hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah Eloheka to guard to do all these commandments which I command you this day.
Verse 4.
We'll go to verse 3 because
Verse
it's
3.
the same
Okay.
sentence.
Yes.
Of a foreigner you may exact it again, but that which is yours with your brother your hand shall release. Save when there shall be no poor among you.
There shouldn't be. Okay, so this morning I got up and I went to go do a little something, and when I went out, someone seen me and I had my window down and they yelled my name out, and I turned and I saw the guy and I went to school with him, and so I pulled over and I talked to him for a minute, and then eventually, it was going to come out. So what do you do do? And I told him, and then we finally made it to the point that I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and he said, "Oh, and I keep Shabbat." So he says, "You don't do anything during today, right?" And I said, "Yeah, for the most part." And so I reached in my pocket to pull something out, and he saw all this money, and he said, "Oh, can I have $1?" And I thought, I can't give you $1 because I don't. The righteous don't beg. He started begging for $1, and I realized that the reason that you would even ask is because you're not righteous, because there's no poor amongst us. If we walk righteously, Yah's going to bless us. Like, we're not walking around begging for $1, because Yah has already started demonstrating blessings to us. Some of us haven't had a job in forever. Wake up to truth, and Yah gives us a job. Yah has a tendency of keeping His word. All right, verse 5.
Verse 5. Only if you carefully hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah Eloheka to guard to do all these commandments which I commanded you this day. For Yahuwah Eloheka blesses you as he promised you.
I told you he will bless you, just like he told you. Come on.
And you shall lend unto many nations, but you shall not borrow. And you shall reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over you.
Hallelujah. That's why we don't swear allegiance to anyone, because Yah reigns over us.
Verse
7.
If there be among you a poor man of one of your brethren within any of your gates in your land which Yahuwah Eloheka gives you, you shall not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your poor brother.
Hallelujah.
But you shall open your hand wide unto him, and shall surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wants. Beware that there be not a thought in your wicked heart, saying, the 7th year and the year of release is at hand, and your eye be evil against your poor brother, and you give him naught, and he cry unto Yahuwah against you, and it be sin unto you. You shall surely give him, and your heart shall not be grieved when you shall give unto him, because that for this thing Yahuwah Eloheka shall bless you in all your works, and in all that you put unto your hand. For the poor shall never cease out of your land. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall open your hand wide unto your brother, to your poor, to your needy in your land.
So we give to each other. We don't turn. We make sure that we take care of each other. Verse 12.
And if your brother, every man or every woman, be sold unto you and serve you 6 years, then in the 7th year you shall let him go free from you. And when you send him out free from you, you shall not let him go away empty. You shall furnish him liberally out of your flock, and out of your floor, and out of your winepress, of that wherewith Yechezk'el has blessed you, you shall give unto him. And you shall remember that you were a bondman in the land of Mitzrayim, and Yechezk'el redeemed you. Therefore, I command you this thing today. And it shall be, if he say unto you, I will not go away from you, because he loves you and your house, because he is well with you, then you shall take an awl and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be your servant forever. And also unto your maidservant you shall do likewise. It shall not seem hard unto you when you send him away free from you, for he has been wroth a double hired servant to you, in serving you 6 years, and Yechezk'el shall bless you in all that you do.
You know, when we read through this, it doesn't really resonate well with us because it says something about slavery. That's not the same kind of slavery that we were accustomed to here in the United States, and we don't usually deal with servanthood like that in this continent. But that doesn't mean that it's not still something that in other continents they may deal with this, and this gives them the guideline on how to handle, especially when we're talking about Ivri or Hebrew personalities or persons.
19. All the firstling males that come of your herd and your flock you shall sanctify unto Yechezk'el. You shall do no work with the firstling of your bullock, nor share the firstling of your sheep. You shall eat it before Yechezk'el year by year in the place which Yahuwah shall choose, you and your household. And if there be any blemish therein, as if it be lame or blind or have any ill blemish, you shall not sacrifice it unto Yechezk'el. You shall eat it within your gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike, as the roebuck and as the deer. Only you shall not eat the blood thereof. You shall pour it upon the ground as water.
Okay, so the problem when Yahushua was coming to the temple, they were taking the lame and the not so desirable animals and offer them to Yahweh, and he's like, that I don't want that. I never asked for that, and that was something that was happening that was causing a problem because Yah had already given us the guidelines, and we had denied the guidelines, and was, instead of eating them at home, we started using them as offerings and then selling the good stuff for ourselves. So in everything you do, you need to go back and make sure that you are in alignment with Yah so that he can be in alignment with you. And I'm done. 1 hour. I'm sorry. I'm 40 seconds short. I can kill that in a few seconds. So your diet reflects who you worship. Your diet ought to reflect who you worship. You can't sit, open this word up, and say that you're one of us, and then go have meals that contradict what he placed in the book, because they actually call it an abomination. So be careful, cautious, that you find what Yah has placed in his law and be obedient to it. I had a pair of pants on this week that I haven't had on in a long time. I pulled it out of my closet and made my way to New York. And in the back pocket was this little knot. I was like, what is that? And I pulled it out, and it was a piece of candy. Now, I was notorious for loving this type of candy. I ate it all the time. And it had little wrappers, and sometimes the wrappers be in my pocket, and sometimes they fall out my pocket. So everywhere I was at, there was like you could tell that I was there because this little wrapper was on the ground. Jolly Rancher. And then when I found out that Jolly Ranchers was made with pig, I don't even know how they use pig to make my candy. I had to do away with it. So guess what? When I put on these pants, and I'm like, what? And you know what I did? Unwrap that thing and throw it in my mouth. No, I threw it away immediately. I was like, whoa, where did that come from? As much as I loved them, I had to discard it because there was something in it that broke the dietary restrictions. I was another place where I pulled out a breath mint, and I was in a room full of Hebrew women, and one of them came to me and said, "Sorry, I'm not sure that you know that, but that's got pig in it." And I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I was like, check my breath. Okay, smell good. And then little did I know that it had. Guess what? When I did that, when I found that out, I stopped immediately. I don't indulge, only because the word says so. But the word tells you what to eat and what not to eat. And now you can add to that by taking some things and say that I just don't eat because of a health reason or for other reasons, but don't say that y'all is demanding you to or commanding you to. We're in alignment with keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. Shalom. Shalom. I hope you have a beautiful day. It's beautiful here, and I hope that it's beautiful there. Shabbat shalom. See you. Immediate breakdown. I will not be teaching next week. We'll be off for a week. Giving you a heads up. I already know that I have an assignment somewhere else. So I will be away for a week, and then we'll be back, y'all willing, the week after that. Shabbat shalom.